Okay, so this is the deck we're playing today. We're going to be playing a short historic Pauper tournament on MTG Arena on the Plague server. And this is an 8-week event. We're currently in first place. And this is what I've brewed up for the event, and this is what I've been playing consistently in any serious tournament. There's a few changes since last time, but I'll just generally go over the deck right now to give you a sense of what's happening. It's a basic blue-black control deck, except the difference from the stock list that you see most often is that it has 4 Aven Eternal and 2 Salvagers and a Skeleton Archer. I think that having creatures is infinitely superior to not, as it forces your opponent in some awkward positions in games 2 and 3, and creatures are very good at stopping up the ground in the first game and in subsequent games. Otherwise, the removal suite is fairly standard. I've moved to more Ob Nixilis' Cruelty versus Murder, just because recursive creatures are more common now, and there's very few things that Cruelty does not kill that Murder would kill, and we do not care about their graveyard. Our draw engines are Frantic Inventory and Secrets of the Golden City, in conjunction with Salvager. We can be a pretty good control deck if we want to, between Essence Scatters, Pair of Cancels, Single Negate, and 2 Devious Cover-Ups, along with Recursion from Salvager and Sanctuary. Post-board, we have the right number of cards to either take out all relevant removal, if we're playing against control, or to swap in a bunch of removal if we need to beat an aggro deck or something that we don't need Devious Cover-Up and Cancel against. Well, I hope you enjoy the games today, and I'll be giving some more commentary as we go. Okay, and we are back. We won the roll, and let's start the first round. This hand is great. We've got some lands. Generally, our deck is pretty much immune to flooding, so I'm not really worried about that. I'll play tap lands and then even Eternal, and we'll see where we're going. Okay, Island. Island pause, so they have Opt. I don't think that there's any really scary decks that play Opt.
Round timer started.
Yeah, for those of you who know the website, we're playing on MTG Melee, which is an excellent site if you have not tested it out before. Alright, blue-white. I am not scared at all. If they are going long, it doesn't matter. If they're going short, it also doesn't matter. Really, the only deck that I'm scared about right now is either Burn, because it can get some starts that are very hard to contest, which we're fine against. We're still above 50%, but it's still not great. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of playing the blue-black matchup because of how long it goes. Okay, so Omen of the Sea. The fact that Omen of the Sea is being played is interesting. I think that Frantic Inventory in a 4-drop slot is, or sorry, in a 4x slot is a lot better than that. Debating if I want to kill it or if I just want to shove. I think the long game is just better if I just shove, because I get the same option next turn, and then we'll play Mystic Sanctuary tapped. We can't wait around. We need land drops. Really, I think the biggest problem with blue-white versus blue-black is the removal suite is just worse. Okay, good. I'm not going to commit more things to the board right now. I'd rather just draw 3 cards with these 2 spells. And probably Swift Response. It's the common answer out of this. Yep. We don't care. Our creatures really don't matter. We're just pretending that we care about our creatures. I'd like to at least cycle this. I'll cycle the other one later. Or do I want to do this now? We're not really going to do anything. We might as well keep the clock going. Really, the card that we're actually scared about is Pacifism, because there's no good way to actually sacrifice the zombie token. So I would have to 2-for-1 myself and kill the zombie token. This is the reason why you don't play white, because Blessed Light, while it exiles it, and that's nice, it's just so expensive. Whereas, if you're playing black, your removal spell is 3 mana. Hitting enchantments is nice, but there's very few relevant enchantments in this format. I'm not sure what our opponent is doing here. These are all good magic cards individually, but... Negate? I've never played against this particular opponent, so I don't quite know what they're doing. Oh, they're casting a Devious Cover-Up. Okay. Alright, so we'll play a Devious Cover-Up game next, after board. Now the long game begins. This game could go to time, so I should be cognizant of the clock. Right now, all of these cards are dead. Next time I just will kill the cloud kin. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that they could have is a 3-drop Flash Flyer, but that doesn't matter. Into the Royal. Into the Royal with Kicker is not bad. Minor question on whether to deny them the card versus removal spell, but I think it's fine. I'd rather just be attacking. Even though creatures don't matter, the fact that even Eternal and other ones... playing Bone Dash, that's... I don't see how this deck beats aggressive decks as part of the problem. It doesn't seem to have anything in the 2-drop slot that interacts. That's one of the most crucial things for aggro. That if you have Moment of Craving, it just takes the wind out of their sails. So we'll just play a very long, slow game. I might not even deploy threats when I draw them, just because they don't really matter. Okay, the Devious Cover-Up shuffled some things before. Moment of Craving, I hope they fight over this. If they fight over this, they show that they just have... Okay, they didn't. You should never fight over the removal spells in control matchup. The fact that they hesitated on that means that they have a spell. They have 5 mana, so it could be another Blessed Light because they had a valid target. But I don't see the point of doing anything right here. I'd like to give it another turn or two. There's nothing they can deploy that actually wins the game. It might have been an opt to. All of their creatures are dead. Really the question is, can we contest the remaining Devious Cover-Ups? That's the only thing that matters for the rest of the game. We have two cancels and negate, and they have some number. They probably play Mystic Sanctuaries as well, so we're going to have to play around that. There we go. So they should recur Devious Cover-Up. If they do, I will play Secrets. They recur Blessed Light. Okay, that shows they don't understand the matchup. I'd really rather wait one turn. But they have enough mana, it doesn't matter, so I'm going to deploy this here. I wanted to wait one turn so that Salvager, I could play both in one turn, but it really doesn't matter just because of how many cards they have and the fact that the next card they're drawing is a dead card. Okay. That's okay for us. We could use some lands, but otherwise we're just going to keep developing. Yeah, it's interesting. Revitalize in this deck doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a good card and it helps like stave off the initial damage, but it's not where you want to be typically. Oh right, my other one got covered up. So I'll have Frantic Inventory now because I could actually use some lands. Okay. draw a few more cards here. I don't mind discarding some removal spells if that's what it comes to. That's a really bad land to draw, though. Because none of these cards actually matter. The only cards that matter are counter spells. I'd almost rather discard a couple cards here. I will recur for now, though. I'll make them think it matters. There's enough Frantic Inventories that Frantic Inventory is now better than Secrets, at least because I'd like to fight at instant speed. And I will discard Moment of Craving. I'm going to Moment of Craving my own Salvager, though, because in the late game I have Wander in Death, and I'd rather not have it exiled. Given that I know I'm going to draw a dead card, I think I'm going to use my mana now. If they want to fight me, they can. Alright, this is where it gets interesting. So this Salvager is obviously bait. I expect them to counter it. Bone to Ash. Don't care about Bone to Ash, that's fine. They want to draw more cards, they can. It might have been premature to jam that there, but I think it's correct. Don't want to draw cards yet. I'll draw cards at the end of this turn. Omen doesn't matter. This is one of the tricks in control matchups. You actually have to figure out which cards matter and which don't, and I think that there's probably between the two decks maybe 5 cards that matter in my deck, all of them counter spells in game 1, and then about the same in my opponent's, because we both have too much removal that nothing ever sticks. Clear the Mind is worth fighting over, though. Clear the Mind is one of the cards we need to fight. I need to shuffle some of these cards anyway. I'm shuffling these just because. And I have to hope that they don't have 2 counter spells. If they have 1, it's okay, but 2 is a problem. Okay. And yes, I accept the shuffling. We're at 35 versus 32. So that race is being won right now. I have to be very careful about not losing a cover-up to another cover-up, as that's going to make the game a lot harder. I might actually just stop casting card draw spells for a bit, unless I absolutely need to. Yeah, as long as I'm drawing lands, that's fine. End step, they sacrifice Omen, which is fine. Bottom. I bet they're happy with Blessed Light right now. Not really. Aven Eternal. Okay. Hard to kill them, but we'll see what happens. Bone Dash is fine. We're not going to fight over it. This card is a good card, but it's very slow. Like, they're going to find out why Devious Cover-Up is just better. So now I need to find some cancels. I think that I'll end step inventory, especially given all the things that they're doing, as they're at 28 and I'm at 33. Another sacrifice, okay. And 24 to 22, so I'm running a little slow. Some of that might be recording lag. I need to be faster on the mouse here. Alright, bunch of ops. That makes me a lot happier with where we're going. Yeah, Cloudkin doesn't matter. More cards is fine. And end step, I'm going to use this spell just because it doesn't seem like they have Salvager combo, and they shouldn't. They realistically can't in this. They're into the roiling. I'm going to stack on top of that. I don't really want them to have the card, and if they want to fight me, oh yes, please fight me. Because I'm using useless cards, and they're using relevant cards. Yeah, this is entirely fine. I'll draw 3. Perfect. And this is where the discard really comes in. This is another reason why it's so much better to be in black than white for this matchup. As post-board, I'm going to have an extra 3 counter spells and 3 discard spells, which is just going to be perfect. Okay. I care not about any of these cards except for good old Clear the Mind. And now Clear the Mind is gone, so we are rocking and rolling here. They can have that, and they're at 22 to our 29, so we have a 6-card buffer, roughly. I always like having an extra card there, just in case. Given that they're at 22 cards, I don't think they can have the right number of relevant cards. I'm going to fight this, just because I don't want them to have extra resources. I've run out of removal spells for right now, and I don't want to have to deal with it. And then they can try and beat me down with something else. Yeah, this is fine. I don't see them having Salvager. This doesn't seem like a Salvager deck. Their 5-drop slot is a little too overloaded. That's a sorcery. A minute, does this... Who does this? Oh, its controller gets a token. Oh yeah, so then definitely can't remove my thing. We'll attack. It's probably useless, but the blue-black actually does turn the corner pretty quickly once it gets a few things together. So, it's possible. So you'll notice that they have outcarded me, but I'm still winning, as I have 3 relevant cards, or 2 relevant cards, and they have no relevant cards. So, Devious Cover-Ups and Clear the Mind. The fact that there's Clear the Mind in this matchup makes it a little complicated. I actually cut mine, because I didn't think that I would need them for a matchup like this. And I felt like I could win it on skill alone, based on the other cards I have. Ah, that's nice. At some point they might get mad at this token, but it doesn't actually matter, because the token by itself actually kills them slower than they deck themselves, which is kind of depressing in a couple different ways. So I shouldn't use much time while doing this. And I'm playing all my lands because of how many card draw spells I have, that there's certain turns where you can just absolutely go off and draw a million cards. Not actually a million, but like 10. Which is pretty impressive for a pile of commons. I'm surprised that their deck doesn't have more Mystic Sanctuaries. I will cycle this. So I would like a relevant card. Ah, I like this. Let's see if they respond. If they respond, it actually doesn't do anything, which is ironic, because it just makes another 1/1 token. They're playing Devious Cover-Up. No, we're not going to let that happen. Probably should have made it tap more black mana, as I need the blue, but I only need 6 blue, and there's 8 on the table, so... They're trying to figure it out. You can see them flashing on their graveyard, and that's a no. I think I like Devious Cover-Upping the cover-up, just to exile it, as that's going to be a little bit stronger. I'm going to obviously shuffle Devious Cover-Up, and then I think a couple of the card draw spells, as I'm still doing okay here, and then I'm not going to shuffle all of the creatures, just in case I draw something. Let's see, is their last relevant card actually good? It is not. That is acceptable. See, this is one of the reasons why Toll is so good. I've actually considered swapping Toll from Memory Leak, as Memory Leak is more flexible, but when Toll is good, Toll is just so good. Well, we don't care on that, so I'll remove the one that doesn't actually have restrictions. Yeah, I think they didn't realize that I was just going to make another 1/1. Yeah, I don't care if they get a thing. Doesn't really matter to me. Alright, they're on no relevant spells. I'm just going to kill their creature. And they're on 14 cards. They have no relevant spells. I have 2 relevant spells. Maybe someday I'll draw a card draw spell. Alright, so in the deck, what do I have that's relevant? I have 2 Salvagers, 2 Salvagers, 1 Negate, 1 Devious Cover-Up, and 1 Mystic Sanctuary. So, like, a quarter of my deck is relevant now. And I can imagine that most of their deck is not relevant. No. No Clear the Minds. Oh. Okay. I was wondering if they drew a relevant card there. Yeah, and then they throw in the towel. Okay. So they're not playing black, which means there aren't really any enchantments that matter. Let's hope my computer doesn't crash here. It's always the greatest way to lose a control mirror. So we don't really need Moment of Craving. We don't really need Cruelty. Occasionally they board in something really fancy. And let's just bring in a few cards and see where it goes. So obviously all the counter spells come in. All the memory leaks come in because we're trying to exile everything. I don't really like Suffocating Fumes. Archer is still good because it kills the flyer. I don't like Murder. There's never a card in their deck that actually needs to be murdered. So it's at 61 right now. I like keeping in Libation because sometimes they will bring in some ridiculous hexproof creature, which actually isn't that great in the matchup, but it keeps me honest. So I'll cut a Moment of Craving. I could cut a second Moment, and that might be able to save some of my creatures from Banishing Light. That's fine. I'll play a Suffocating Fumes over that, as it seems to kill all of their creatures anyway. Otherwise, this is good. I'm glad that I have 2 Bazooka Bogs now. I used to not have Bazooka Bogs. And as you can see, this is the, here, I'll pull it up this way. This is the full transformation to anti-control mode. Now I just have to be mindful of the clock, and everything will be good. It's a little bit lighter, and I don't like seeing Bog in my opening hand, but this is fine. Alright, we'll play the tap land. That doesn't matter. I don't think they can play anything relevant, so I'm going to do this for now. And any number of cards that I can get with Bog is good, as it'll be 1 fewer card later in the game. Okay, I think I'm just going to start on these things, as there shouldn't be anything that actually matters in the early game. There's the late game haymakers of Clear the Mind and Devious Cover-Up, but there's nothing in the early game that matters. So, they negate, that's fine. I will absolutely trade one of my many discard spells for that. I think this is slightly better. It kills one of their negates, which is a little bit less than I'd like. But then next turn, I can memory leak with negate backup, and that'll really shove through anything that I need. If they don't play a creature, I'll probably cycle Suffocating Fumes, but I'm not sure. This is actually a very good version of the blue-white deck. The problem is that blue-white is just strictly worse than blue-black in how it plays. So they only have 2 blue sources, so I'm willing to jam this. There aren't really any threats they can stick that matter. And then I look forward to salvaging up one of these things. They probably have Bone to Ash. I'm willing to fight. Just because I want to have a little bit of information, see where we're going. Ooh, devious cover-up, clear the mind. I don't want any part of cover-up. I can fight clear the mind, but that's a whole different game to fight cover-up. And they don't have anything yet. So I'm just going to take a moment to recur something. In this hand, I'm going to recur negate, just because I can always hold off the clear the mind until later. Yeah, swift response is good. It's a nice addition to the deck in M21. Tapped land, and we're done. How are we doing right now? 17 minutes versus 19, so I'm running a little slow. The problem is you just can't tap out against blue-white. Clear the mind for a couple cards, 46 to 46. That's fine. I'm just going to pass. There's nothing I can do about saving this. I'll just recur it at the next convenient interval. Does reveal a little bit of weakness to my opponent, but I think I'm willing to do that. Just because of how powerful it is. And assuming they don't do anything, I'm going to cycle Suffocating Fumes, because I need a land. I wish that there was an F6 of some kind. The skip turn, pass turn doesn't really work properly, as it still checks on everything. I don't really want to get into a Cloudkin Seer thing. I think I would rather just do this. I don't think there's anything they can do on their turn, and I'll just go back and get Wander in Death. Be nice to have a land, though. Next turn I can Memory Leak them. Blessed Light. That's annoying, but it's fine. They can always break up our combo, but it's fine. Ah, good. Good old lands. Alright, let's see what they're cooking with. Blessed Light, Swift Response. I don't like Blessed Light more. It's a pity about the mana, but... So there's no exile from graveyard for that color, so I'm willing to cycle this. Try and find more lands. Yeah, now that I've found another creature, I'm absolutely willing to cycle Suffocating Fumes. They're into the roiling for value. That doesn't matter. The problem is they just don't have enough relevant cards. And then they have built a little mana advantage, though, as they have 8 lands to 7. I'm 1 short, aren't I? That's a pity. I'm going to put my shields down for a turn. I think it's worthwhile just to put together a slightly faster clock. And if they brought in Spined Megalodon or some other hexproof threat, that's pretty easy to handle. I'd like to get to 10 for secrets, as winning the land war is going to be important. This card doesn't matter. Lands, land ho. They might choose to fight over this. If they do, I don't care. Wow, no lands. That's business. I think I'm just going to cycle this and I'll sit on the negate. That's unfortunate. Well, we'll plow in, they'll kill something with swift response, and they will block the other one. That is fine. You notice after everything that's happened, I still have more cards. I think the problem with blue-white is everything cycles, and their cards actually aren't that efficient. In that they have to spend 5 mana or whatever to kill a creature. Yep. 33 to 35. Another swift response, that's fine. I will race. I have the city's blessing. I would really like to draw land. That was not exactly what the doctor ordered. I will have to discard a few cards, but lands are important, and I think I'll win in the long game. If they want to fight over this, that's fine. We are so light on lands, it is just crazy. Let's see, they are on 9 cards in graveyard. I'm going to continue being greedy. Just because I don't want to have to discard all these wonderful cards. Bone Dash, sure. That's fine. As long as I don't have to discard it. Opt. And I'll discard Libation, as it's the least useful of the cards, as now I'm on 3 Devious Cover-Ups and a Negate. I just need to find more lands, per usual. So next turn, probably Even Eternal and Secrets, and I'll just have to see what gets contested or not. 16 to 14. Okay, still need to pick up the pace. As there is a round timer in this. Alright, theoretically losing the race, but that's fine. There's going to eventually be a turn where I never tap out, but I need lands before that can happen, as this is, yeah, Clear the Mind's annoying. 42 to 30, that's fine. I'd rather just draw 2 cards here. Perfect. Exactly what we needed. Okay, back to winning the race. And I'm not going to block this thing. Doesn't matter. Again, I don't care about the filtering cards. I effectively have an extra 12 plus cards in my deck, so... Swift response, don't care. Kind of want to kill their creature just to mess with them. Send a message here. I tapped a little bit more blue than I'd like, but it's fine. Yeah, we'll just send a message and also just use our cards, as it doesn't really matter at this point. Next turn, if I don't draw a land, I will Secrets, as that'll put me at +2, and I might have to discard a card. Ooh, good. Have I fought yet? I have not really fought. So I'll go grab Toll. Oh, good. It doesn't actually give me priority because all of my spells that I can cast are counter spells. That's always good. I'm going to break a rule of mine, just because I want to get this over with. And it also lets me use secrets more effectively. They don't get to do this. We are not going to allow that. Shuffle in all the good stuff. And one of you. Actually, I probably should have recurred Wander in Death earlier. Oh well, that shuffles away the toll, but it's fine. 8 turns to go. How many cards in the graveyard? I would like to wait just a little bit longer. And toll for the last card, which doesn't matter. I think it's better just to play that and attack. I want maximum Bojuka Bog value for my second Bojuka Bog. And then just restock to this many. Oh, fun. And they can't have enough relevant cards, so I'll continue restocking. I will counter whatever they play on the next turn, just because my clock is now fast enough. Let's go grab a negate. It's fine. Ever so fine. The animation taking that long is really annoying though. But this is easy. I can just counter their next however many relevant cards, 2 relevant cards, and we're good. Didn't really need to do that, but it adds an extra point of damage, just in case. Something really miraculous. And oh look, we have a beautiful 7-card hand here of 7 counterspells. Well, that's how we drew it up. See you for round 2. Okay, and back for round 2. Obviously can't keep this hand. This is fine. I believe I know what my opponent is on from a historic Pauper Discord server that I'm part of, so I'm going to put this back. I think my opponent's on mono black. And then we're good. Maybe I should have Bojuka Bog there, but I would rather have Essence Scatter for the few creatures that matters. Oh, they're on blue-black. Interesting. Well, in that case, if my computer ever catches up with me, which I hope I didn't just drop out. Great. This is annoying. Alright. Have to reboot. How frustrating. Okay, we're allegedly back, and I will see if I missed a turn or not. And it looks like I sort of... No, I did not. That's good. Made it back in time. Oh, interesting. So this is like an interesting blue-black mirror. Huh. I think Dreamtail Heron is the best way to go. That's unfortunate. Maybe I should have taken one of these and then scattered the other, but I'll just scatter the other one and it'll be fine. But this is not a great one. We started a little bit late due to some issues. So this is unfortunately not the best one to be a little slow on. And I'll pass, and I'll probably trade, scatter this, libation their other creature. They have lands though, so this is going to be an uphill battle, and it'll be long. Hmm. End step, I think I'll cruelty them. And got nothing. I'd love it if they played Heron right here, as then I can libation for a bit of value. That's fine. I'll take the 2. And even though this is aggressive, I think I need to be a little aggressive at this early stage, just because otherwise I'm going to get beaten down. I need to kill some of their creatures. They negate or do something else, it's fine. Yeah. And I'm attacking because I don't have anything better to do. I'm pretty sure my deck is going to be better than this. I've seen blue-black mutate decks like this. I think this is the one that actually went 5-0 in a league. Mindstone. Interesting. Some variant of it. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, so they're going to be an odd kind of deck. So I should figure out a way of dealing with that. I don't think that they're going to be full control. So I think that like sticking pretty close to my starting 60 is pretty good. I don't think I like libation. I'll keep 1 just in case everything is badly wrong. But otherwise, I think I want cruelties. And do I want the murder? Yeah, they can make a really big Heron if they need to. And then a second suffocating fumes. Really not sure what happened with the concession. Don't think I actually like Moment. I think I'd rather just sweeper them. This is okay. Doesn't seem like they're playing a lot of interaction spells, but I could be wrong, so I'll keep the negate in. There's always something it hits. It's just a very odd concession. I would never concede there. Just because the game's going to go on for another 20 turns. A lot of stuff can happen in 20 turns. Okay. This hand is pretty good. I'm going to lead on... My opponent put me on the play. I respect someone who does that, but I don't think it's a good idea. Okay, so they're going heavy control. They're doing the duress route. I've seen decks like this. I'm not sure what I think of them yet. And they took suffocating fumes. I assume this is just going to be blue-black value. I'm going to let them do that, and then I'm going to cast my own Even Eternal on 3. And then we're going to see what develops on turn 4 in terms of murdering, scattering, and drawing cards. Probably don't draw cards, because I can draw cards on 5 just as well with Scatter Up. But they should play some type of value creature. I'm liking bringing in Fumes. If they think that Fumes is the best card, then I like bringing it in. So, I've seen this deck running around. This is the Mutate deck with a bunch of value cards, and it backs up with Duresses. It doesn't play counter spells in the main, but what it does have is a fair bit of value. And that's why it's scary. And I've always wondered if it actually is able to get enough value, or if it is just going to be ground out by secrets and other cards like that. Because without counterspells, you just lose the long game. I'm still not sure why it has Mind Stone. Maybe it's short on 2s? But decks like this are something that I'm like a little worried about, but it's fine. Takes one of the secrets. If you take the murder, you're crazy. Murder's the only, there's no argument to taking murder. I think you just have to take secrets. Okay, there's an argument to taking murder apparently, but I'm not sure what it is. Okay, attack for 1. I'm willing to secrets if I don't hit a land. If I hit a land, I won't secrets. Just because if I fall too far behind, even if they heron me, I have enough outs to the 5/5 that it'll be okay. I'm not going to attack, because if they don't have heron, then it's fine. I am worried about either heron or the Cavern Whisper, I think it's called, is the discard mutate spell. As a 5/5 would be annoying. Yep. That's annoying, as stated. Discard that. So I need to be able to kill one of these to be able to libation the other. Duress. Wow, so many duresses. Probably takes the libation. No? Okay. I agree that that was the better pick, but based on the prior move, I didn't understand it. Okay, so I get to toll for the last card. Maybe I'm supposed to take toll out. That's the one problem. When you miss on toll, it's always very bad. So now I take 5. I don't have any small removal. So I guess I might as well libation. But it doesn't do anything. Just all the dresses. Yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. I think I have to cycle Fumes. Just because I need something that goes anywhere. This was a very awkward hand. I'm still not sure why I won the first game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to libation at end of turn and then just kind of tap the top of my deck and hope I get something. Unfortunately not an enchantment. And dead. I'll just concede for sake of time here. No point in making him go through another turn. Okay, so if this is the plan, I don't think I like Toll very much. This is going to be a much more aggressive version of the deck. And I don't like Libation. I don't think that they're going to play any targets for it that matter. I'd rather have the last Cruelty. And negates aren't actually going to be that good. They're going to trade with the duresses and some of the removal. In that case, probably like Memory Leak. And I should be good-ish on the rest of it. I'll keep negate in. I don't want to leave mana up against this deck. It just doesn't do anything. Yeah, alright, we're not going to leave mana up against the deck. We'll just bring in a Moment of Craving. Okay, so we get to be on the play, they get to be on the draw, everyone's happy, I'm on 3 removal spells, and I can kill whatever the mutate creature is. I'm going to lead on Sanctuary, just to avoid having the tap lands later. Now now they start duressing me or whatever. We'll see if we can hold on. Fumes is okay against them, but it's really you want to double fumes and just wipe their whole board. I'm willing to sit here for a bit. They should have 3s, that's why I'm so confused. The fact that they brought in suffocating fumes against me is really suspect. Like, I probably play half the creatures they do, maybe. Maybe more. If they're not doing anything, I don't really need fumes. I can go get it later. I'd rather start stocking up for later. Get cards. Get ahead. Win a long game. I think I win the long game a little bit better if we make it to turn like 15. I'm trying a lot of swamps though. But I'm not willing to pull the trigger yet on Sanctuary. I can take some hits from the crew. Okay. If they negate me, that's fine. It brought in negates and cruelty and duress. That's a really interesting combination of cards. Still waiting for that Whisper. If it does come down, I have to kill whatever it's trying to attach to. Just because I can't beat the 6/6. This is one of those weird situations where it isn't relevant. Okay, that's fine. Makes a 3/3. And we are off to the races. Moment of truth. Do I cast cancel? Do I cast, do I play this tapped? I don't think so. I think I'd rather just sit. And because I'm losing the race, I'm going to sit back. I don't really want to let the Reapers come for it. My opponent might be a little greedy and decide that they want suffocating fumes or something, and then I'll counter them and win a trade, and it's the incrementalism that matters for this matchup. Oh, they do have Inheritance. Wow. That's really something. The fact that their deck has Inheritance in addition to all these other things is just kind of crazy. Maybe I should have used Devious Cover-Up. I'm not sure. Just because it costs more mana. I think I need to sit on this, as depressing as that is. Wow. This could be really tough, just because they have Inheritance somehow in this deck, in addition to all the other things. Do I want to discard, or do I want to counter this, or... I think I'm going to be a little aggressive, and I'm going to counter this, and... I'll shuffle one of the Obnixiluses back in, just so we have live draws later. Really need an island. That works too. Alright, fine. Have to start attacking sometime. one turn window, sir. What are you going to play? This is a really confusing deck. I don't agree with Reapers and Cavern Whisperer and Ill-Gotten Gains and Negate and Mindstone in the same deck, but we will see. Alright, we'll change the Owl's color, just cause. Alright, Whisperer it is. So I'm going to take the time to kill Whisperer. I'll discard the Aven Eternal, as I need it to be alive. Mindstone, that's fine. I'll murder that thing. Please attack. Oh, darn. That's fine. We'll take 4. Oh, that'll be nice. Good. Maybe next turn I'll attack with this. Then I'll recur some stuff. So this is going back to a blue-black game of old where you had to deal with Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Really, these are really early concessions. I think you can take this a lot longer than my opponent has, but it might be that they just get frustrated by it. I'm not sure. I know that I'm someone who's willing to play like pretty much any match to the bitter end with blue-black because you're never dead. And I think my opponent should probably do something to at least some point where I definitely don't... I have control of the game, but I'm definitely not going to win this. Like, if they draw 2 good draws in a row, they're probably back in the game, but... Oh well. See you in round 3. Alright. We are back. We lost the roll. We're on the draw in the final round against the other 2-0. And they're leading on... Interesting. Red-white. Not seen a lot of red-white before. They are tokens, maybe. Isn't that interesting? That is really going to make this poor, but it's going to make Suffocating Fumes really, really good in the next couple rounds. Oh yeah, Suffocating Fumes is going to be so good. We might lose this game, though. It's going to be tough. Suffocating Fumes, please. Alright, so this turn, it's just land, Toll of the Invasion, try to get as much value as possible. This is where Toll is nice because, yeah, I'm not going to give them a choice. If they want to burn bright, they can burn bright, but I'm not going to let them survive a Suffocating Fumes later in the game. I think I just want to kill the dinosaur. It doesn't really matter. Burn bright for 9. Cool. I don't care. Next turn I will libation if I need to. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Just want to kill one of them and just slow the clock. Fortify. That's rough. Nice draw. Go to 4. Think I want Toll, just to make sure nothing gets out of hand. I shouldn't lose on this turn, but it might be tough. They drew a lot of lands, to be fair. Like, that wasn't really fair to them. I'm just gonna Toll, just to, yeah, wow, they really flooded out. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna sit here then. And if I can counter something, I can. They probably play... Wow. That's... I feel bad for them. I'm just going to kill one of their creatures just because I don't have anything better to do, and I want to cast Salvager. I'm not going to try and hold up mana. This is going to let me be a little bit more aggressive, as that's where I want to be right now. And I think at this point, yeah, I just want removal. And I will attack for 2. Oh, I attack for 3. That could be a little bit bad, but I don't think it is. I do want to beat them down, and this helps with that. I want to make sure I don't lose to, like, Royal or something. Instigator. Okay. I think I do want to draw cards, just because it's going to be good. If they Royal me out, I'll deal. I'm just going to send 1, because I don't want anything weird to happen. I can win the long game. Basically, if I untap, I don't think I can ever lose. But I'd be curious to know how many lands they're playing, and cycling lands and other things like that. But still, that's really unfortunate. Alright, I'll just play this, and then I've got a hard counter backup for any like weird stuff that they decide to do. And I'll send a couple of these guys over. I just want to get the game over with. And this does that. As I get to attack for lethal next turn, I don't think I actually get to... I don't get to deal lethal unless I draw one more removal spell. That's fine. If they want to attack me for 4, I'll block 2 of it and they can try to kill me. Please go for it. Thank you. Yeah, we don't care. Yeah, it was just unfortunate. Like, they just ran out of gas just like a little too early. And now this actually is lethal. And now we will bring in all of the suffocating fumes. Oh boy, you can believe there will be suffocating fumes. I don't think I mind toil. Or toll, sorry. I always call it toil of the something or other. But alright, well, we know we need this. We know we are 100% against libation. I generally like this. I kind of like having an extra negate and 1 fewer essence scatter, just because I don't think that's where we're going to be. I think it's hard to get up to 4, so I don't like having quite as many. I like having hard counters, though. I think it's worth cutting for at least last gasps, because that's where we seem to be. Maybe I actually should just be on, like, an extra last gasp, and then cut... I should definitely cut the murder. And... trying to figure out how many cruelties are needed, because one of the ways this deck wins is with Rage Hound, and I don't want to just be totally soft to it. I'll cut the cancel. We'll just play a creature game against them. It's one of the ways this deck can win. Yeah, and now we get to see like exactly how this goes. I'll just make sure that I play around Fortify or whatever else. Alright, well, this is a snap mulligan. They're mulliganing 2, which is good. Means I don't have to beat down a card. This is fine, and I think I like this card, but I don't think that's where I want to be right now. It's all about early action. Maybe I should consider swapping a swamp for an island, given that I recently changed the mana base a little bit. That's unfortunate that they had that on 2 instead of... Ooh. But that, on the other hand, is the business. Okay. Okay. I'm going to obviously let them get away with it and just frantic inventory and just be all frantic over here. Oh my gosh, there's nothing that can be done. Thank goodness suffocating fumes is at instant speed. Having to play Mephitic Vapors when I was doing that was annoying, and then I was playing all sorts of other things. Oh, that's what you're doing. I don't want that on the battlefield. I'm willing to take 4 to stop that from being on the battlefield. That's actually going to be annoying later in the game, and I don't have a ton of removal for it. I think it's correct just to do that, because then I can recur. Why should I get greedy? I shouldn't get greedy, should I? Nah, we shouldn't get greedy. We can just kill other things. They're on 2 cards. I have Craving and some other stuff. Yeah. Alrighty. And that is match. Thank you everyone for joining me today. I'll quickly take a look at the deck and we can see what it all looks like. If Arena doesn't crash here. If it crashes, then we'll talk about this later. Alright, I let you skip that little section there. So anyway, I think that this deck is like generally where you want to be. You've got a really flexible set of counter spells and removal such that you can answer pretty much any threat in the format, and you actually can answer any threat in the format. I shouldn't make it sound like you can't, as I played this deck for probably upwards of 200 games now, which is a lot for this format, as there aren't a ton of people who play it. And I really like where this list is at. What am I in the last like 20 odd game or 20 odd matches? I think I'm 27-2 in the last 29 matches. I'm currently leading this league at, I think, where am I right now? I 2-1'd last week, unfortunately, so I'm at 8-1 right now. And then we're going to hopefully take this deck forward for either next week, which I might have to miss, but otherwise I'll try and start recording a little bit more regularly to give you an idea. I think this deck is clearly the best deck in the format, as noted, because it can go long. It can also answer weird threats like Ill-Gotten Inheritance. It can also deal with sticky threats that would be recursive. And it can deal with everything in the format. It can outcard it. It can deck it. Anything you want to do. This deck is probably one of the best things you can be playing in the format if you don't want to be playing Burn. Burn is the only thing that realistically goes under this deck and has enough evasive damage that can escape it. Otherwise, if they're just playing creatures, they get outcarded by turn 6 or 7, and then the game's over. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you around again. I'll try to add some links to some of the Discords if you want to join and play some more Historic Pauper. Come on over. It's a lot of fun and it's a great community. Bye for now.